Welcome to the 2024 Spine Summit, Navigating the Future, Embracing Technology and Innovation to Improve Patient Care. The future is an infinite resource, but is only revealed by experiencing it. Navigating the future may be a fool's errand, but that doesn't stop us from trying. Take, for example, Groundhog's Day. If you believe Punxsutawney Phil, we are in for an early spring. Spring is a time of rejuvenation, renewal, and regrowth. Steve Jobs once said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards." So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down and has made all the difference in my life. We are all called to care for our patients. It is our eternal charge. Each generation of surgeons improves the lives of patients, but also improves the way we improve the lives of our patients. Technology is at the heart of our specialty. The technology evolves and new technology is developed each year. Embracing and fostering this change allows for better care of the patient. Our specialty, spinal surgery, has always had two pathways. One through orthopedics and one through neurosurgery. At this point, the clinical practice is nearly identical. We have much to learn from each heritage. The vision of Spine Summit is the premier surgical spine meeting. We have an outstanding program developed by Zach Ray, a neurosurgeon, and Mike Kelly, an orthopedic surgeon. We have been very deliberate in cross-pollinating our program with speakers from both neurosurgery and orthopedics. Kurt Vonnegut wrote, "Science is magic that works." Our lives are populated by navigation systems, robots, patient-specific implants, augmented reality, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence. A generation ago, all would have been regarded as magical. We are on the cusp of significant change. In his book, Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell introduced us to the concept of 10,000 hours to master a task. This is based on research by Anders Ericsson. While our training programs are long, it is very difficult to get to 10,000 operative hours during training. Our education is truly lifelong. For me, the Spine Summit has always been a meeting that represents rejuvenation, renewal, and regrowth. Allow yourself to embrace the new technology and new techniques at this meeting. Allow yourself to renew and regrow your passion for spine surgery and great patient care.
Please welcome the 2024 Section on Disorders of the Spine and Peripheral Nerves, Chair Dr. Eric Potts.
All right. Good morning. As most of you in the audience know, the Spine Section, DSPN, is a daughter organization, and we have two parents, the AANS and the CNS. I'm very pleased and honored that we have the presence of both organizations here at this meeting, and we're first going to hear from Tony Asher, who's the president of the AANS, and then Alex Khalessi, the president of the CNS. We're unbelievably grateful for their support and partnership, and so we'll hear from both of them and then keep moving. Thank you.
Super privileged to be able to talk to you today. I did mention to the spine section leadership last night that this will be the last time that I'll be presenting in front of this particular group as the senior leader of a national organization involved in organized neurosurgery for 26 years now. It's kind of hard for me to believe. I was sitting next to Juan, and it just was almost surreal that my son is a third-year resident in his program in neurosurgery, and time has really flown in a remarkable way. I'm going to mention a few things in light of this particular situation that are perhaps a little bit more personal. And you'll forgive me, I'm just going to refer to some notes so I can keep this on time. Friends, in this area of relative division and disruption, it's frankly time for all of us to consider how we can start bridging those divisions and occasionally at least pausing the disruption that incessantly commands our attention. I believe that process has to start with us talking about what really matters to each of us. That is to say, our values, our priorities, our personal and collective aspirations, and then listening thoughtfully as others communicate the same back to us. In that regard, the theme of the ANS annual meeting, What Matters, is deep personal significance to me. To date, I've had no use for social media. I really haven't been too involved in that, but I've become convinced that we all need to start using those modalities in more significant ways so that we can communicate to our friends things such as what matters to us. I particularly believe that we need to engage in a dialogue around individual and shared values that I think are really at the heart of what matters to society in general. And so I began involved in development of a YouTube video on the topic. The fact that I was doing this for the first time will probably be evident to anybody who takes the time to look at it. But you can access this through the ANS website. If anybody wants to get the URL, I'd be happy to forward it to you. I'd really be appreciative if you could consider giving it a look. I'd be delighted, obviously, if all of you could join us in Chicago this May, but it's frankly more important to me that you consider the theme of what matters, particularly our appropriate roles and responsibilities in the broader fabric of modern civilization. By the way, if I had to think too much, I'm reflecting here on the passage of time. I'm looking at microscopic print, and my readers are not doing justice. So if I'm stumbling over some of these words, forgive me. As I mentioned this the last time, I'll be doing this as president of one of our major organizations, but I do want to finish by saying it matters to me that our friends in the spine section have provided unwavering support of our collaborative efforts to collect and analyze clinical data of importance to the patients we're so privileged to serve. It matters to me that each of you are dedicated to addressing diseases that arguably produce more disability and loss of quality of life than any other human affliction. And finally, it deeply matters to me that the essential work of this section is jointly supported by both the ANS and CNS. That's through a rich and long-standing partnership that I believe maintains the vitality of our profession. And I'm delighted that I'll have the chance to introduce Dr. Khalessi, who will be speaking to you next. Thank you for your support.
Well, good morning. I want to first acknowledge Eric Potts for his leadership over the past year and partnership and what has already been an outstanding meeting, and congratulate Juan Uribe as your rising chair-elect. Really looking forward to supporting Juan and his leadership and partnering over the coming year. The Abstract Center for our flagship meeting in Houston from September 28th to October 2nd is now open, and we're very, very committed to celebrating peer-reviewed science in the spine space. I should mention that the section has been extraordinary in already providing a very robust set of programming in partnership with our scientific program leadership team. And I know it's important to make news from this stage, and so we're announcing publicly for the first time Magic Johnson and Jacinda Ardern, the New Zealand Prime Minister, will be joining us in Houston. In addition to that, a lot of work and effort has gone on in conjunction with the spine section to make sure that the content that we provide to you as an organization is not redundant and is complementary to really the outstanding programming that we've already seen at this meeting. And you can actually see the tracks that we're developing. Notably, there will be a spine symposium in conjunction with the SRS focusing on deformity on that front end Saturday. In addition to that, the section has been a unique partner in supporting our efforts in Washington and the Washington office. I will be succeeding Rush Lonzer as the Washington Committee Chair, and so I'm personally committed to making sure that the interests of the section are well represented in the years ahead at what is an important inflection point for us as a specialty. And in addition to that, a flagship offering from the Congress in partnership with the section has really been the development of new spine guidelines and the updating of our existing guidelines. These guidelines are foundational to the work that we're actually doing in Washington and goes essentially hand in glove. And you can actually see the topics that are being reviewed now. In addition to that, we have an open call through our flagship journal, the Red Journal Neurosurgery, on endoscopic spine. and there's a freestanding spine supplement that's actually being led by your chair-elect Juan Uribe for publication in early 2025. So I'd encourage you all to be on the lookout for that and submit to that as well. And in addition to that, a lot of thought, intention, and effort has gone into developing mobile and web-based apps to actually support spine surgeons at the point of care and to actually help those in earlier stages of their training at each phase of their professional development. I'd lastly want to emphasize, because it's not necessarily something that would be clear to the general membership, that there's been a real intentional effort to make sure that spine surgery, which is very much the heart of what we do as practicing neurosurgeons, is well represented in our leadership team, and now fully half of the CNSEC are practicing spine surgeons. And so I want you all to be sure that as one of the two parent organizations leading our specialty, that your interests are always top of mind. If I can ever personally be more of a resource to you, please do let me know, and I hope to see all of you in Houston. Thank you very much for this opportunity.